Hey there, welcome to another episode of Moandain Designs. I'm your host Moandain. This video is part of my favorites series, and today we're going to be talking about Transformer games. I grew up in the 80s, so of course, like every other little boy in the 80s, I loved Transformers. I watched it every Saturday morning or every afternoon. Basically, if it was on, I was trying to watch it. My family wasn't very rich, so I didn't really get to have a lot of the Transformers toys, but the few that I did have, I definitely cherished. And I played with them actually so much that I wore them out. Now, as for games and stuff, I'm only going to be really touching on Gen 1 stuff because, I like all of the old original Gen 1 stuff. I'm not too much into Beast Wars and Transmetals and all of this other, newer stuff. I'm not that much into those. With that, let's start moving on. War for Cybertron was released June 22nd, 2010 by High Moon Games. This was one of the first modern attempts to bring that nostalgia feel of the Gen 1 characters, and they hit it out of the park. It was so good. You could go through and play as multiple characters. The characters felt like they had the attitude. As a player, you didn't feel like someone just controlling the character. They did a really good job of placing you in the game, where you felt like you were Optimus Prime and that you were doing these things, and that the fact that you had a controller in your hand and were doing all of this stuff just kind of blended away and just faded. Very innovative, intuitive controls, the transformation sequences and stuff like that, and some of the tricks that you could do, where you could transform and be sliding across the ground still from the momentum. It was just great. The voice acting is absolutely superb. They did it right. They got the correct voice actors. They couldn't really do this wrong, and they knew it. They knew that they couldn't mess this up. They had a high bar set for them by the nostalgia of the fans that, honestly, I remember Transformers and how I felt about them growing up, but going back and watching the episodes now, yes, I realize that it was basically a cartoon to push toys. But the nostalgia was still there, the feeling, the emotion was still there, and that's what High Moon had to actually contend with. Now, later on, they came out with Fall of Cybertron on August 21st of 2012. Again, High Moon Games, did a really, really good job with this one as well. It definitely did not fall prey to the sequel syndrome. It's still Gen 1. It still has great, wonderful characters. The upgrade system is still around and did a wonderful job of being able to upgrade the guns and stuff like that. They introduced a few modes, the survival mode and stuff like that. Just, again, a wonderful game, a wonderful story, and good voice acting. And they didn't fail again, and just a really wonderful job. Now, later on, the reins were handed off to Platinum Games. They came out with Transformers Devastation on October 6, 2015. Now, this game was not a lot like the third-person shooter of, that High Moon had been giving us. But Devastation came out with a cel-shaded, wanted to look a lot like the cartoon instead of the previous games by High Moon that came out looking a lot like the IDW comic book. But the cel shading was mainly just to, have that nostalgia pull where you looked like you were playing the cartoon. Again, voice acting was, just spot on, but honestly, you can't really get away with not doing the voice acting right. It's just one of those things that if you do it wrong, people are going to notice, and you're going to lose points on that. This game controls quite a bit like Bayonetta. It is a 3D environment, beat 'em up. Yes, there are guns. Yes, you can transform and drive around and stuff like that. But it is definitely more leaning towards the hand-to-hand combat style than the previous games by High Moon, which is the third-person, over-the-shoulder, first-person shooter style. Devastation is a good game. The upgrade system and the item drops where you try to get better gear for yourself is very innovative. Things, even when you get something that's not an upgrade, it's not really a waste to get it. You can actually turn around and either sell it or use it for parts to upgrade or level up other things and stuff. It's just a good game. All three of these Transformers games are very good in my eyes, and they're across multiple platforms and worth your time. If you're going to play it on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, or the PC, or any of the other systems that it's on, it's definitely worth your time. You will not be sorry. Well, that's it for this episode of Moandain Designs. I'm your host, Moandain, and I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed making it. If you like what you see, you can support me and my channel on Patreon by clicking one of the links below. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and have a wonderful day.